Hi, what a great day. You're watching JG Entertainment, and for this video, I'm covering Puss in the Boots Last Wish box office, giving you an update about it, how it crossed 400 million and more, along with how amazing they did this President's Day weekend, like super good, and the UK box office, which it released back at the very start of February, and how it's been doing in the UK box office. Spoiler alert, it's doing amazing. So yeah, let's go over the box office of Puss in the Boots that I'm really excited to cover. So yeah, let's go over it. So let's start domestically, and the movie domestically made $5.3 million this past weekend, which was its 9th weekend, which is amazing. How amazing? Well, it's only a 5.7% drop from last weekend. That's so small for its 9th weekend, and for it to do this much money, that's insane. It's really awesome for this movie. Now, of course, this past Monday was a holiday Monday with President's Day weekend, so that means that the Monday was a holiday, and this Monday it just made the movie blow up insane. Like, the movie really blew up this Monday. What am I talking about? Well, it made $1.7 million this past Monday, and why am I saying that this blew up? Well, it's a increase of 310.3% from last Monday. 310% from last Monday. That's insane. That's such a huge increase. Like, it's really insane. You rarely see this in the movie industry, so that's amazing for this movie. The fact that it was able to blow up this much on President's Day Monday, I mean, it really gave the movie a box office boost beyond what you would have expected. It's amazing. This makes the movie have a domestic total right now of $168.5 million, which is amazing. That's an amazing mark, like really good. It's insane. How good? Well, that means that the movie has a 13.5 multiplier. What does this mean? Well, it means that what the movie opened with is multiply that by 13.5 times, which is amazing, insane. It's truly incredible to just see how much that the movie has grown from its opening weekend, whenever it seemed like it was going to be a flop, to now looking at it now 168.5 million, and it's not even done its domestic run. I mean, it's amazing. Now, this brand new number also means that it has officially beaten Sing 2's domestic total, which stood at $162.8 million, making this the second biggest movie domestically of the pandemic, which is insane. Only behind Rise of Gru, which made $369.7 million, so it's not going to get anywhere near that, but it has become the second highest grossing movie of the pandemic era that's animated. That is amazing. Amazing for this movie. You would have never expected this from its opening weekend, and the fact that it was able to do this is just truly groundbreaking. Like, it just really goes to show you the amazing word of mouth, which of course makes sense. I mean, the A cinema score, the huge amazing Rotten Tomato scores from audience and critics. I mean, the word of mouth for this movie has just been insane, and I love this movie. I thought it was one of the best movies I've ever seen, and an animation, and it was just an amazing movie. So yeah, I can definitely see why this movie is doing so awesome, and I couldn't be happier. Now, the movie right now is currently eyeing a domestic total of $180 to $190 million, which is really, really strong. The expectations just went up themselves. Before it was between 160 to 180. Now it's between 180 to 190. So their expectations have been one up in themselves, and that's amazing. And I wouldn't be surprised if it crossed 200 million somehow by any miracle, because the movie has had the best legs possible. So yeah, it's amazing. Now, let's move on to the international box office. Internationally, it's also been doing amazing. Why do I say this? Well, it made $9.9 million this past weekend, which is its 13 weekends overseas. It's 13 weekends, and it made $9.9 million. That's amazing for this movie. Truly, truly amazing. That means that it only dropped 18.2%, which is, like I said, amazing for its 13 weekend. I cannot believe that it's doing this much money. Now, the movie also opened in the UK, like I mentioned, at the very start of February, back in February 3rd. So let's go over how it's been doing in the UK. So in the UK right now, it's made $21.1 million total, which is really good, really strong for the UK, with a $6 million opening weekend. And then it made another $3.7 million on its second weekend. And then shockingly, this past third weekend in the UK, actually went up. Instead of dropping, it actually went up by 3.3%, making $3.8 million this past weekend, which is amazing. So it didn't even drop. It went up on its third weekend in the UK, despite Quantamania coming into theaters in the UK. So that's amazing. That really goes to show you that Puss in Boots has been able to hold off and really counter these blockbuster movies that were advertised over the water, and now Quantamania, both domestically and overseas. And you can see that by the percentages, and that's amazing. Really amazing stuff. Wow, that's really impressive for this movie. I would have never expected this movie to be that big, even with having seen it and knowing how good it is. I mean, the amount of money that's able to make despite these blockbusters being on its way is insane. So that's really awesome for this movie. This leaves the movie at a overseas or international total of $257 million, which is really, really awesome. And it's not even all the markets yet. Japan still is left to open on March 17, which could give it, I mean, I'm sure it's not going to be like a huge like box office opening, but I'm sure it's going to give it a boost, which I think is going to be awesome. Either if it's like $10 to $20 million, that's a really nice boost. Now, let's move on to the worldwide global numbers, which are going to be really strong as well. Now, globally, right now, the movie stands at $425.2 million, which is some really, really strong numbers, like really strong. I already crossed 400 million, and it's well beyond that, which is amazing. Now, this also means that it beat Sing 2's global total, which Sing 2 made $408.4 million. So the fact that it was able to beat Sing 2's global total means that the movie has also become the second highest grossing animated film of the pandemic era globally, which is amazing. So both domestically and globally, it's been able to become the second highest grossing movie animated wise. So yeah, it's pretty awesome. Once again, only behind Rest of Gru, which made $939.4 million. So it's nowhere near Rest of Gru, but the fact that it was able to get this far and become the second highest grossing animated film of the pandemic era just goes to show you that it's just amazing. It's amazing. The legs that this movie has had are mind-blowing, truly being the greatest showman of the pandemic era, but animated, which is even cooler. Now, this also goes to prove that Universal really owns animation right now. Like, Disney has no grip on animation at all. Why do I say this? Well, Rise of Gru, number one, which is by elimination, and elimination is owned by Universal. Then we have Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, which is by DreamWorks, and guess who owns DreamWorks? Universal. Then we have Sing 2, which is owned by Elimination, and Elimination is owned by Universal. And number 4, we have The Bad Guys, which is also by DreamWorks, which is owned by Universal. So Universal has really been kicking Disney's butt when it comes to animation, like really, really badly. Like Strange World flopped, Lightyear flopped. I mean, all these animated Disney films that would have been huge hits have been flopping. And Universal, who has really trying to be taking a lot of risk, especially with the DreamWorks property, not so much with Elimination. Elimination kind of remains the same. But with their DreamWorks property, with the Bad Guys and Puss in Boots: Last Wish, given the different animation styles and whatnot, I think that they have really paid off massively, especially Puss in Boots: Last Wish, because it's done amazing. Why do I say this? Well, it only has a $90 million budget. Only a $90 million budget. That means it's more than quadruple it, and they might even do 5 times what it costed, which is amazing. That's like some really high profit numbers, and it definitely becomes one of the most profitable movies of last year, which is amazing and insane that it comes from Puss in Boots: Last Wish. Really awesome stuff. Now, the movie is eyeing a global total of between $490 million to $500 million, which it would be amazing. If it's able to cross that $500 million global total, it would be so amazing. I really hope it is. It really depends on how much of a boost Japan gives it, but if it's able to make it like 20 million more, I think that it can definitely get to $500 million, which I think would be super amazing, and it would be such a flex for this movie to have. So yeah, hopefully it makes it to 500 million. That would be amazing. Now, if it isn't obvious enough now, and especially after the ending of Puss in Boots: Last Wish, this definitely is going to lead to a Shrek 5, and I fully expect Shrek 5 to include Puss in Boots in a major way, and not just Puss in Boots, but also Kitty Softpaws and Perrito. They're going to have major roles in Shrek 5 after this box office, which is just amazing. So yeah, definitely expect those roles to be kind of blown up, because Puss in Boots was kind of a big role in the Shrek films, but he was still like very much a side character. I think now they're gonna give him a lot more layers, and they're gonna make it a much bigger role. And like I said, also Kitty Softpaws and Perrito, which I'm really excited to see how they integrate Shrek and Donkey and that type of stuff. I'm really excited for that. And also, this all massive numbers Puss in Boots: Last Wish has been able to do it with PVOD on its hands. Like, it came out in PVOD after only 17 days, and it's still been able to do all these massive numbers. So yeah, that's amazing. That's incredible. It's insane. The movie is just overall a huge box office hit, and I couldn't be happy for this movie. It truly deserves it. That just goes to show you what happens whenever animation takes risk and it takes time seriously, and they put their heart on it, from the animation standpoint to the script standpoint to the voice acting standpoint, to make just a masterpiece of a film. And then, like I said, I just couldn't be happy for the film. So yeah, that's the box office for Puss in Boots: Last Wish. Hope you enjoyed this box office update for the film. I know I haven't done it in like 3 weeks, but I know a lot of you haven't wanted it, and here it is. So I really hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, then please leave a like. It really helps out. So please leave a like. As well as tell me in the comments, what do you think about it? What do you think about this UK box office? What do you think about this total box office, this low box office? What are your own predictions for where it's going to stand globally at the end of its run? And whatnot, tell me all those type of comments down in the comments. I'm definitely sure to read them every Respawn. And that's it. Just make sure to subscribe for a lot more content like this, both on Quantamania box office and just more videos on just general stuff like movies and shows and whatnot. Subscribe for all the content that I'm sure you're going to enjoy. And yeah, that'll be it for this video. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a great rest of your day. And this is Jerry Entertainment, out.